What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm doing a part 2 of where you should live when moving or relocating to the Finger Lakes and Rochester regions. Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. My name's Anthony. I'm with the American Home Team here in Rochester, New York. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every Tuesday and Thursday that I release a new video. That being said, as much as I love making these videos for you on everything living in Rochester and the Finger Lakes regions, I would love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number and that email that's popping up on your screen, be sure to reach out because I am the guy that answers those phone calls, texts, and emails. And without further ado, let's get into the full map tour of where you should be living when you move to Rochester, New York. And again, guys, like I mentioned in the last video, this is not me trying to steer you anywhere, which way or anything like that. I'm just giving you the information about these towns so that you can make an educated move when you do decide to move here to the Rochester area. Now, let's hop into my computer screen here and we'll get after it. All right, guys, so again, just to give you a lay of the land here, we've got New York City way down here, almost like it's not even part of New York. Then you have Albany here, Saratoga Springs. You have the Adirondack region here, which borders Vermont, Canada. And then over here, you have Syracuse right here. So Syracuse is more central New York, if you will. And then, so you got the whole Finger Lakes region here. There's 11 lakes. Right here, this little patch here, this is Letchworth State Park, which is a super popular state park here. Many people travel from all over the place to go to Letchworth, and just an amazing state park. Going back up north a little bit, there's Rochester, and then back out west, there's Buffalo. And so Buffalo obviously borders Canada, Lake Erie over here, and then Lake Ontario as well. So that's really why Buffalo gets a majority of the weather, because they're kind of slammed here between these two Great Lakes. And a lot of the weather coming off of Lake Erie down here. And then you got Toronto just north. So down here you have Niagara Falls. Moving back out east to the Rochester area, the first place I wanted to talk about today is going to be Webster. So if you look at Webster, it's obviously up here northeast of the city of Rochester. So the city being here, this is, we'll call it city proper, right here. And then just northeast, right outside of basically Irondequoit, which is here. So Webster lines Lake Ontario. And so you will be getting a little bit more weather when you're in Webster. But let's click on here and see if we can get a street view of Webster. So this is the 3D view here. We'll go street view, and we will go see if we can go right in, we'll say downtown Webster here. Let's see what it does. All right, so if I'm oriented correctly here, downtown Webster is right here. Downtown Webster is a cute little town. There's a lot going on in Webster, anything from lake life to skirting up to the city. So that you can work or just enjoy the city or whatever. Right here, there is a bunch of really good restaurants, really good taverns, and just a lot to do right here on this main drag. So downtown Webster is home to a lot of different things, and there is a Wegmans close by. So obviously you see here the fire department. So your public safety is all going to be right here as well. Some Mexican, some ethnic cuisine, if you will. And then Webster schools are also, according to niche.com, ranked among some of the top schools here in upstate New York. So I don't recall what number, but I do know that they're within the top here in the Rochester area. So Again, you have Wegmans here. Wegmans is our huge grocery chain that is just everybody loves. You can't go wrong with Wegmans. Ironically, it's one of the most popular spots in upstate New York, which is kind of weird when considering it's a grocery chain. So let's see if we can kind of recalibrate here. So Webster is great. Athletics are great in Webster schools if you've got kiddos in sports. And then as you can see here, proximity to the city, it's really close. We're talking maybe a 15-20 minute drive here. So it's really not a bad drive at all. If you were to work in the city, or if you want to go to, say, a Rochester Amherst game, a hockey game, or see the Harlem Globetrotters, or see any of the concerts or comedians or whatever that come into Rochester City proper, it's a super close drive. And again, you do have a lot of lake frontage here on Lake Ontario. So what I will say is that any of these areas here that line Lake Ontario, just because of this massive size of Lake Ontario, there is some flooding along this shoreway here. So if you're Webster and you want a lake property, you just want to make sure that you have a nice break wall over here, just so your property doesn't get damaged. Recently, a couple years ago, we have had some serious flooding on Lake Ontario, but recently it hasn't been terrible. Normally some sandbags will help, or just, kind of increasing the size of your break wall will do the job. So then moving down south a little bit of Rochester City proper, we're going to get into Pittsford. Pittsford is one of the more affluent suburbs here in the Rochester area. Pittsford is home to the golf course here. And then it's home, Monroe Golf Club. And then it's home to just a lot of different things. It lines the Canalway here. So there's all sorts of bars and pubs. It's got a library. It's got another brewing company. There's a lot going on in Pittsford. And many people love going to Pittsford and just experiencing what they have. The community center is really nice. They have a lot going on. And like I said, there's a lot of money in Pittsford. So a lot of revitalizing, regentrification here. With Pittsford, you've got two schools here. So you're going to have Pittsford Sutherland, which is right here, that we just kind of zoomed out of. So right here, Pittsford Sutherland. And then if you go over this way, the other day, the last video, I talked about Mendon. And so you have Pittsford Mendon schools, which is over closer to Mendon, so down here. So these two towns kind of interconnect. And so you have Pittsford Mendon schools, like sort of right in the middle, right here. So Pittsford Mendon High School. So just kind of like the southern side of Pittsford, you've got Pittsford Mendon. And then on more of the northern side, you have Pittsford Sutherland. So Pittsford is home to Nazareth College, which is a really nice top tier college. Oak Hill Country Club. Oak Hill Country Club, that's the one I was thinking of when I was looking at the Monroe Golf Club. But Oak Hill is, the PGA Tour is coming here, and it has been here a couple different times. So really close to that. There is a lot going on. And then a short drive to St. John Fisher University, which is a great college up here as well. And then as you can see, short commute right on over to the University of Rochester area, which is home to Strong Memorial Hospital, Highland Hospital. So a lot of your medical professions are going to be over there, obviously. Strong is a tier 1 hospital, so they get patients from all over the place who have maybe injuries or ailments that can't be treated anywhere else, and they go to Strong because it's that good. And then, as you can see, a close proximity to the Rochester airport, Frederick Douglass Airport here. So it looks like it's a far drive from Pittsford, but it's really not. It's, Pittsford is super close to the expressway. So you hop on the expressway and you can get over to the airport in maybe 15 minutes. Really, really nice location that Pittsford has. And again, it's one of the most affluent areas here in the Rochester region. So you're going to see a lot of $1 million plus houses in this area here. Moving on to Henrietta over here. So Henrietta borders Pittsford, borders Brighton, borders, Scottsville, Honeoye Falls, kind of Rush area, and then Mendon as well. So Henrietta is really nice. There's a lot of industry going on in Henrietta, and it kind of makes the taxes very cheap for a lot of the residents there. So Henrietta is known in New York State among some of the lowest property taxes in the area. So that makes Henrietta extremely popular. Home prices have skyrocketed in Henrietta, especially, I know I've sold some ranch homes out in Henrietta, and the ranch homes in Henrietta are extremely popular. It could be priced at $149.9 and it's going to be selling at $210 or $220, so they're affordable houses, but they're extremely competitive houses. Everybody wants to move into Henrietta just because the schools are above par. Athletics are great too. The taxes just make everything so affordable. And then it's so close to everything. Obviously, you can see there's a Wegmans there. So most of your major shopping is going to be here in Wegmans. And then there's a bunch of parks and stuff. And then you have, Rochester Institute of Technology there. And you have the airport here. So proximity to everything, Henrietta is just great for. Just a lot going on in a bunch of parks, like I had mentioned. So that is Henrietta. And, if you wanted to scoot over to Farmington or Victor or Canandaigua, again, that's a 15-20 minute drive right up I-90. So you hop on I-90, the thruway, and you can get right over there. Or if you wanted to go down into Lakeville or the Livonia area or Hemlock, you can just hop right on 390, and that's probably, say, about a 20-minute drive as well. So nothing is super far from Henrietta. And then I wanted to go over to Seneca Lake and hit on Geneva. So if you've been watching the channel for a little while, one of our first couple videos was a vlog tour of the Geneva city. And so Geneva is a really nice area that is a lot of regentrification's going on. A lot of revitalization is going on. And they're really making a conscious effort of making Geneva the place to be. And it's working. So right now you have Hobart William Smith colleges right here, which are great schools. A lot of my friends and colleagues have gone to Hobart William Smith. But then you got, Geneva City here. You have a bunch of hotels that line the lake, Seneca Lake here. You have the Finger Lakes Welcome Center. So in our vlog, you'll see it says, I love New York. And there's a big sign over here that says, I love New York. And then you got the beautiful views of the lake as well. Seneca is one of the more pretty lakes, I think. It's just always a great time. If you have a boat or whatever, you can go out and go out on the boat. You can go fishing, do whatever. There are tons of Airbnbs going up and down Seneca Lake here. But then there's also Seneca Lake State Park that from Geneva, that is a 4-minute drive right here on 5 and 20. So you just hop right over there. There's, running trails and barbecue sites and everything like that. You can go and hang out for the day and have a party or whatever you want to do. Geneva is great. Let's see if we can bring you down into the main hubba of Geneva. Let's see, Lewis Street, we got, so the Rusty Pig, I know, is my brother's favorite barbecue joint there in Geneva. We'll go down into here. So as you can see here, really charming little town. A lot of people love downtown Geneva. It's just a great kind of vibe. And like I said, a lot of regentrification. There's a lot of history here too. And so you go down this way and you have the lake down here. And so it's just a great little town that bunch of restaurants, bunch of shops. There's also some big industry. So there's some banks and stuff too that, help kind of make things a little bit cheaper for you. So there's a lot going on. And downtown Geneva is it's a beautiful city. We'll just try and go over here real quick, kind of show you a little bit more of what we're looking at. super nice, cute little town. And like I said, it's being regentrificated. So is that a word? Revitalized, we'll say. And being right on the north end of Seneca Lake just makes it all the more better, because down at the south end of Seneca Lake, you have Watkins Glen, which is one of the more popular state parks in the area. So from Geneva to Watkins Glen, that's probably about, I'd say about an hour drive. Maybe a little bit less than that. But then right over on Cayuga, you have Ithaca. We've done a tour of Ithaca as well on this channel. But Geneva, if you want to see what Geneva's like, refer back to our Geneva vlog video that we did, because that gives kind of a really good layout of Geneva. A lot of people have this old, Geneva has this old reputation that it's kind of like a crummy town, and people who are saying that haven't been there in a while, because it's super nice now. There's a lot going on. Like I said, it's been revitalized a lot, and the lakefront especially is just amazing now. So definitely one of our favorite places to go. And then just all throughout here, in between Geneva and Canandaigua, along 5 and 20 here, there's so much to do. So obviously there's, your Walmart, Denny's, there's those kind of things there, but then there's wine cellars, there's the Pick and Patch corn maze. So we took our daughter in October during, pumpkin time and everything, Halloween time rather. I will say that there is the Ontario County landfill here. So depending on where you live, you won't get the smell very much into Geneva City, and you won't get it over into Canandaigua, but you will get some of the smell if you live in kind of this surrounding area here. Anywhere like Seneca Castle, even Stanley a little bit, you can get some of the smell from the landfill. It's not terrible. They do a pretty good job, but if the wind's blowing a certain way and the weather conditions are just right, you're going to get, some smell, and it's not going to be pleasant. But, the residents around here don't really complain too much. Either they're used to it or it's just really not that bad. So I guess for the last kind of like map tour here for you, we'll do Penfield. And so Penfield isn't really a area that we've talked about a lot on the channel, but Penfield is extremely popular. Penfield, it's super nice here. You got the golf course here, Midvale Country Club, and you have the public library. You got some sporting event centers. You got the high school right here. And then you have in Penfield here, you have some industry. So you got like car dealers, you got things like that. And then, bakeries, and there's some bars and taverns around there, and other really good restaurants. Penfield is nice because the location in proximity to the city. So if you look here, you got Penfield, and you can go 441 here and hit 490. You can also go on Atlantic Ave, and Atlantic Ave will shoot you right into the city here. So Route 286 here will take you all the way down right into Browncroft Boulevard, which is going to take you right into the city here. So into the Culver Winton, Maine area, and the George Eastman Museum. And so it's a straight shot from Penfield. And this YMCA here, the Eastside Family YMCA, extremely nice, super nice YMCA for the family to go to. Actually, Penfield is an area that one of our most recent YouTube subscribers that is moving out to the area, one of her top areas, in her top 3, I would say. And then she's also looking in Greece, and she's looking in Irondequoit. So Penfield, Irondequoit, and Greece is her top 3, and that's what we're finding with a lot of these people, just because a lot of the proximity to the city. We find that Rochester is a big hub for a lot of people relocating, regardless if they're in Henrietta or Brighton or any surrounding area where they work. The Rochester is just going to be the biggest hub, and then they want to be close. So Pittsford, Brighton, Chi isn't bad. Spencerport, we can talk about that in another video. Irondequoit, and you know, some of these immediate suburbs, rather than a place like, say, Canandaigua here, where you have, you know, a little bit longer, like a 25-minute drive into the city. So as you can see, it's not a far drive. Canandaigua is nice just because you have 332 right here that goes straight onto the thruway. So if you go 332, you can go I-90 to 332 all the way straight into Canandaigua Lake, or Canandaigua Lake 332 straight into I-90, which is the thruway. So, and then the thruway will take you to Henrietta, or you can get off the thruway here at 490, and that's the expressway, and you can go the expressway up to Rochester. Super good locations here. But, you know, we're finding that a lot of people, when they're moving to the Rochester area. And so to them, that means right around this, like, immediate kind of area where we're talking, you know, 10-15 minute drive into city proper here. But, you know, we are also getting some folks that really love kind of the outskirts here. And so they're looking a little bit further away. They want some space. They want some yard. You know, maybe they have dogs or other animals or something, so they want some green space, or they just like seclusion and privacy. And so that's not to say some of these immediate areas here don't have that, because you certainly do. You got that in Rush, you got some of that in Henrietta, Pittsford definitely, Fairport definitely, Penfield definitely, and then Webster as well. But you get out more this way and then south, you have a lot more of that, like a lot more. So just food for thought when you're moving into the area. I will be doing vlog tours of kind of all of these areas here in the future for the channel, but this is just a 10,000 foot overview of kind of what we're looking at when you're moving to the area. So again, just lay of the land. Got New York City down here all the way south, almost like it's not even part of New York. Then you have Albany. The Adirondack region is up here. And then University of Binghamton's down here. You have Syracuse here, which is this little metro here, which is more central New York. And then going over west, you have the whole Finger Lakes area. You have Buffalo all the way west. Orchard Park, this is where the Buffalo Bills play. And then northeast of Buffalo, you have Rochester. So just kind of give you the layout there. Next video, we might be talking about the Penn area and Keuka Lake. What's unique about Keuka Lake, just real quick, is obviously the shape of it. So you got kind of this wishbone-like shape of Keuka Lake. So when you're boating and you're in on this area, it's just really nice views on both sides of you. Or if you're able to come into this little area here, you can get views of both sides of the lake, which is really nice. And you have that southern end down toward Hammondsport. But Branchport and Penn are both very nice. Keuka Park is very nice. We're talking more luxury homes along this lake. And just a great area. I got some family here in Branchport. They have a tiny little cottage here on the north end of Branchport. So occasionally, well, as kids, we used to go down there and boat a lot. So really cool areas. We're fortunate here to be in the Finger Lakes, just the beauty of everything. But then Rochester, you have an amazing skyline as well, and you have Lake Ontario and everything. So you really can't go wrong with any of these areas here that, you know, my real estate service, I guess, services. So just food for thought on that. And so with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed these map tours. Let me know if you want me to do a part 3 of this and kind of detail some of the more outlying suburbs, some of the lake towns, things like that. So if you enjoyed this video, just let me know, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every Tuesday and Thursday that I release a new video. That being said, as much as I love making these videos, again, I would love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So the information that's popping up on the bottom of your screen, be sure to text, email, phone call. I am the one that answers those texts, emails, and phone calls. So we absolutely love helping you guys relocate to the Finger Lakes and Rochester area. So without further ado, we'll see you guys on the next video. See ya.